you think about justice? What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love? Why all the segregation, all our but one nation? Oh, let us unite as one, and let us unite as one. Tell me what you know about love. Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated. Tell me what you think about equal rights for all in every way. Say what you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about justice. What you know, what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation? We all are but one nation. Oh, let us unite as one. Let us unite as one. Oh, Lord.
15 minutes moving away from the hour. Welcome back to the morning show. And it's now time for our program, Policing with You. Coming to your compliments, National Bank.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash, use your National Bank cards today.
National Bank, always here.
All right, welcome back. Saying good morning to all our viewers and to all of our listeners. I'm your moderator for this morning, Sinclair, also known as GQ. And our host for this morning, one of them is Inspector Alwick Edwards. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, GQ. And good morning to those of you listening or viewing this program by whatever social media platform. I am Alwick Edwards, Inspector of Police and the host for today's program, Policing with You. This morning I have the privilege to introduce the head of the Operation Directorate, Assistant Commissioner of Police Adolph Adams, and my immediate supervisor, Superintendent Chavis Rogers, Tactical Commando. Can you guys please introduce yourself to the listening or viewing audience?
Good morning. My name is Adolph Adams, and as was stated earlier, I am the person in charge of operation in the Royal St. Christopher Navy's Police Force. I would just like to say a happy good morning again to those of you who are in the reach of my voice. And I hope that this program this morning will serve to educate the general public.
And equally, I like to echo the same sentiments as ACP Adams. Other than that, I am Superintendent Chavis Rogers, and as the host mentioned, I am the Tactical Unit Commander. And I want to say I bid you a good morning to all persons listening by whatever means, out there in radio land, internet, YouTube, whatever, listening. Good morning again.
Yes, thank you, gentlemen, for your brief introduction. This morning's topic is the Public Order and Possession Act. Due to the present state of affairs and the series of demonstrations and protests that are being witnessed throughout the Caribbean, it is most fitting to have a topic be employed at this morning's show. This morning's show we take its normal format: introduction, question and answer segment, then closing. ACP Adams, can you let the general public as to some information that you will have to share with them before we commence question and answer segment?
Well, thank you, Inspector Edwards. What we're here to speak about, as Inspector Edwards has alluded to earlier, is the Public Order Act. And I would like to say loud and clear that the High Command of the Royal St. Christopher Navy's Police Force has become aware of a number of unlawful meetings and protests being organized by a group of individuals in the Federation. The High Command want to make it clear that no application requesting permission for any groups or person organizing or coordinating or host any possession in any public space was granted or was received by the Commissioner, or any permission was granted by the Commissioner of Police. If any such event is found to be taking place over this weekend, it would be considered unlawful. and will be brought to an end by any reasonable means. Any persons who want to take part in these unlawful events, I can assure you, you will be prosecuted and to the full extent of the law. And let me just add to this that it is an offense for any person to attempt to organize, partake, incite, or refuse to disperse when required to do so by the security forces. And on summary conviction, you will be then entitled to a penalty of $2,500 or 6 months in prison, and you can also receive both. And I just want to assure you and also appeal to the civic-minded and good citizens of this federation not to take part in such events, because I can assure you that you will be prosecuted. Thank you.
Thank you, ACP Adams. Generally speaking, can someone have a march during the night?
Right. You'll take it. Right.
Okay, thank you for that question, Inspector Edwards. The simple answer to that is no. Night marches and procession are prohibited by law. And when we say night, we're talking about 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. the next day. So GQ, this afternoon, 6 p.m. into tomorrow morning, that's considered night under our Public Order Act, and it's prohibited to have any procession during that period. Likely, procession on a whole and public marches, even in the day, it's unlawful. But there's a process in which that you apply to the commissioner in writing, and then the commissioner would consider all the information that you put into your request and make a consideration and said nay or yeah.
What is the portion of the law that governs the Public Order Act?
Well, we can find the Public Order Act at chapter 19.11 that govern the entire public order issues, and we encourage people to, I will repeat it, chapter 19.11, and encourage people to have a read for themselves so they could be knowledgeable to see that where we are coming from. The notice given by ACP Adams is quite frank, and we want people to be aware of this so that they could become au fait, so that we're not infringing anybody's right.
What should a person do before going to street to march?
Okay, I will take that question. First, you must make application to the Commissioner of Police. You have a minimum of 3 days before that event takes place to write to the Commissioner and make application. Once that is done, then as Superintendent Roger said, it is at the whim and fancy of the Commissioner, based on what is going on in the Federation, based on the security and safety of the Federation, to grant permission or deny permission based on what is happening at the time in the Federation.
How does one apply for a march, and what are some important pieces of information that should be in the application?
Right.
Okay, you must apply again in writing to the Commissioner of Police. 3 days, like ACP Adams said, and some points to note when you're writing that letter is you must include the point of departure. So you're leaving from Dr. Carla Williams School, you include that. You must outline to the Commissioner your route, whether you go down to the college, Keon Street, into Church Street, and whatever. The termination of the march, where you're going to end. Between the time period, between 4 and between 6. You must also give an estimation of the number of persons who are expected to be there, to include vehicles. And while I'm saying this, I want to outline something about a march, what is actually a public march. And I would come from the section 10 of the Public Order Act and read, so I could let the people know what exactly a march is. And it's any march or procession, whether it be wholly or partly, which comprise of pedestrians, vehicles, bicycle, however propelled or drawn. So once this definition is spelled out and you read it and you understand that you take part in anything that includes vehicle, pedestrian, bicycle, and it's in the public, it is considered a public march, and it's prohibited by law only on request from the Commissioner of Police or the officer in charge of a division. We have Division A, B, and C. So we have divisional commanders. You could also write to him based on the Police Act as well.
Let me also say that this does not include any march by the Her Majesty Forces, that's the Defence Force, any march by the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force, and any component of any bona fide or religious meeting or assembly by person or procession or march for religious ceremonies, all right? Weddings and funerals, those things can be allowed as well. And as Superintendent Rogers has been saying, we are on our pandemic, and so everything must come with permission from the Commissioner of Police.
Right. Thank you, gentlemen, for your very informative answers. Can somebody then summarize the Public Order Act for me? That's what it entails.
Right. Okay, I would say the Public Order Act, in summarizing it, it's an act that governs the behavior of the public when out in the public space. So it outlines what are your requirements, what are the procedures. If you are wrong, if you feel aggrieved, he inform you that you can appeal. He outlined all the definitions in that comes under this act, and so it is generally to align persons' behavior in the public space with the law.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you, ACP Adams. Does it matter whether a normal match can happen, but does it matter if before somebody decide to have a number of persons during after 6 o'clock in the night, would it be unlawful?
Well, Superintendent Rogers outlined the definition for a march,
yes.
And he also outlined the time frame under which a march could take place, and anything beyond 6 p.m. is considered unlawful. All right, so you are not allowed to hold a march in the night, and once that is done, it is unlawful. So if you are having a march between the hours of 5 in the morning and 6, and you go over past 6, any time after 6 would become unlawful. So that is not allowed.
Thank you, ACP. Let us now break at this juncture for a word from our sponsors. Upon our return, we open the lines and solicit call-ins from the general public. Thank you.
Stop standing in long ATM lines to withdraw cash. Use your national debit or black cards to complete a wide variety of transactions at supermarkets, variety stores, gas stations, pharmacies, and more. Shop online at the most popular websites and stores for quality brands using your national debit or black cards. And take back your time to enjoy all the things that you love to do. Remember, instead of waiting in long ATM lines to withdraw cash,
Yeah, I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be safe. One kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. 'Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. 'Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us, yeah. I don't wanna lose you.
Five 7-7-2916. Sir?
Thank you, GQ. Question to you, good gentlemen. Under this piece of legislation, what is offensive weapon, an offensive weapon?
Okay, thank you again, Inspector Edwards, for asking that question. I think it's important for the public to know under the Act what offensive weapon means, and I would outline here any firearm as defined under the laws of the Federation as relates to Firearm Act. And secondly, any stick, any rod, bar, stone, any other missile, grenade, bomb, or any type of explosives of any description or catapult or similar implement. We know sometimes the police are there to keep order and safety of the public in general, and persons decide to throw missiles, and this describe anything from the act that it's thrown is an offensive weapon, and it means if it's offensive, you offended the law, and therefore you commit an offense. So the law would take precedence and do what they have to do in that instant.
Thank you, Superintendent Rogers. Who has the authority to disperse a meeting or a match?
Well, according to the act, any rank above the rank of corporal could ask any persons who has organized a procession or march to disperse, and in him doing so, it will be deemed lawful.
Thank you, ACP. What are the role and responsibility of the leader of a march?
The role and responsibility for the leader of the march is to adhere to all the protocols within his letter of request. He writes that he must take a specific route, a specific time, number of persons, and he must ensure that that is done. Failure to comply with the request and the permission given by the commissioner, he is breaching the specific laws, and he commits an offense.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me also say that he must also adhere to all instructions given by law enforcement, and he must also climax at the time that was stated in the act.
Beautiful, beautiful. Are there any persons already?
Yes, we do. So let's take our first call for this morning. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, GQ.
Good morning.
I would like to go on the air.
Yes, you're live.
Good morning, Mr. Adams,
Good morning.
Mr. Rogers, and my godson, my missing godson. That's all I have to say.
Morning, Gaddy.
Mr. Adams, I spoke to you about an issue. I'm so glad you came on air. Firstly, to straighten out this thing with the Public Order Act, because junior ranks came last year and they didn't understand it and they misled the public. But I think you're on the right track. Am I to understand that you are the operational officer for the whole force, Mr. Adams?
Yes, Inspector, yes.
Remember we spoke. I'm not saying equality in departments and divisions. It's a cool saying, it's mean exposing nothing. I would like you to either meet with the welfare committee or division officers and get this thing straightened up. You will get, I'm understanding you will get a lot of resignation and retirement if you don't change it. We are going against the ILO thing. You cannot work people so long hours. My main exposure, because I want you to perform. And I'm looking, if I don't get a remedy until some time, I will go on the radio and tell them exactly what I want to say. So I rest my case there. Okay then.
Thank you for that bit of information, and I can let the public know that you and I had a conversation, and I can assure you that what you spoke to me about is being looked into. But everything is a working process. We don't just do things overnight. The police force is run by a commissioner and a high command, and anything to do with these kind of things, we would normally sit and dialogue and have these things trash out in a meaningful way. So I can assure you that what you told me has not fallen on deaf ears, and we are looking into that.
All right, before we continue, with your permission, Inspector,
Yes,
I would like to make a judgment call this morning. I would like to have ACP Adams and Superintendent Rogers use the headphones, see that more people interact with them.
Sure.
I'll still pull down so you can hear.
It's okay. They're going to plug in and...
Yes.
It's okay.
Right, so be with us for those of you who are trying to get in, so we can get Superintendent and ACP Adams. All right. Can you hear me?
You don't.
Sit.
You good to go?
Yes.
All right. And then, not to worry.
It's okay. I can listen to via the
Yes, right.
speaker to the back.
I don't want you to feel like I'm...
No, it's okay.
Okay. Let's go back to the line and let's take this call. Good morning. You're live and thanks for your patience. Yes, go ahead. Okay, let's try a different one. Hey, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, GQ.
Hey, morning.
Good morning to the high rank Leo. Two questions. Mr. Adams, I want to know why is it the lady there, Miss Marshall, is not coming to the public on a timely basis. She office is very relevant to the police force, you know. The Prime Minister just buy a piece of equipment for her, you know, and she getting real results, you know. Why is it you are keeping her off the station like that? She's supposed to bring in the information to the public. She hold a very important office as the forensic lady. Please, I dialogue with her and bring her up into the public. People want to know what the role of her over in the country, you know. A lot of youngsters come to the circus asking these things. And when the lady come to the show, you could hear how passionate she be and she getting results. Please, Adams, do not let this gun thing get out of hand again, you know. A warning, you know. We want peace in this country. And all who want war, when time for war, they will run. Because you see what happening in Iraq, eh? Please, Mr. Adams, please, do not let this gun thing and shooting one another, the little boy, is a dirty behavior. This is something new they bring into think it's a way, and I can't wait it, you know. This is jam now here talking. Have a good day, everybody. And my good friend Travis, I want you back in a goal for Sink It.
All right, Jam Dong. Thank you, Jam Dong, for that bit of information.
Hey, thank you, Jam Dong, for your usual contribution. Any callers?
Yes, yes, we do.
Let me take a call.
Good morning, you're live.
Hello, good morning, GQ.
Morning.
Commissioner GQ. And other officers of high rank.
Good morning.
Morning.
I love the program as usual. You all have to forgive GQ this morning because you said the weather is hot, so he will turned up. Now, I hear you all speaking about march and all of that. Well, I don't think anybody in their right mind in this kind of time here with the COVID behavior would want to organize any march, because even in the church building, which have less crowd, everybody not adhering to 6 feet apart from each other. Never mind on the street. Nobody at all could be in any march and maintain 6 feet distance apart. So that is a no-no. Now I have one question. In everything you have good and you have bad. Why is it some police would see people breaking the law openly, publicly, and it comes to them like nothing? Well, you could carry the house to all the lake in the wall and you can't make a drink if you don't want to drink, but you could discipline the house. So those police out there who see people breaking the law by standing up in crowd without the mask and they ain't doing nothing to them, I think you all need to pull in some of them people there who just casual, because you can't tell me so much of police on the road. Every minute you can hear the Prime Minister say, this group organized to help with the police them, and the law breaking still the same way. So find out from them why they behaving like that, because we, the citizens of the country, it seems like we more forceful and we more proactive than them. A lot of them just out there smiling and dapsing up one and dapsing up people. But they ain't gonna daps up mountain. Mountain they pay sure so they don't care. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your contribution. I want to ask a question. Given the current state of affairs caused by the global pandemic, what are some of the factors taken into consideration by the police if someone or an organization applies to have a march or meeting?
Well, as we all are aware that we are in a dangerous state of affairs right now with regards to the pandemic. Over the past 3 days, I've been following the progress with regards to COVID, and I think we have seen over 80 something, I can't remember the number exactly out of my head, 80 something persons being infected with COVID over 3 days. So that alone should tell us that we need to be careful in how we go forward. And so with regards to any public gathering, I said before, that you will have to seek permission from the Commissioner of Police. And I think that persons have a personal responsibility, to protect the people around them and their surroundings and their family. And I don't think this is the time for us to be, planning large social gathering and social event. With regards to march and public processions, this is an avenue where we can have a super spreader. And I can assure the general public, or let me just say, those good-minded civic citizens, that the police force is willing to take whatever action necessary to ensure the safety and security of its citizens. All right? And also in doing so, we have to ensure that we protect our officers, because our officers are who are going to be interacting with these people. All right? And so at this time, I think it will be very immature of anyone or irresponsible of anyone to be thinking about hosting a public march or a public procession at this time, knowing that we cannot adhere to the protocols. And as one of the callers alluded to earlier, you know you could have a march and be 6 feet apart. All right? So that is my input in regards to that question.
Thank you, ACP Adams. Next question. If a permit is refused under Section 18 of this Act, to whom should the applicant apply to appeal this refusal, and what is the time to so do?
Yeah, happy for that question, Inspector Edwards. Again, I think your questions come in and they're timely, because we like the public to be fed with details so that they can go and say that we infringe and we didn't give them the opportunity. But under Section 18, if any person is denied or refused a permit, whether by the Commissioner or by a divisional commander, he or she has the right to appeal through in writing to the Governor General, and he must do that within 7 days of the refusal. So people, please, you have a right. Exercise your good judgment and your right, and don't blame us. All right? You have a higher head to go to, and we ask that you do so.
Thank you, Superintendent Rogers. Are there any more calls?
Plenty. But before we take the call, we have a question coming in via BIP. This person is asking, when you apply for these events, for example, a match, and get permission to have said event, do you also get police escort with these events?
Yes. Once you apply for a public march or procession, the police we have a responsibility to ensure that everything is done in order. And so we will be detailing persons based, and that is why we ask for the number of persons you will be having in your march. So we will know, well, if you're having 100, we know we have to send XYZ. We also have to manage the traffic. There are a lot of things that come with it. So as long as that is approved by the Commissioner, the divisional officer or commander will be informed, and they will put in place a detail to police that procession.
All right. Let's go back to the phone line and let's take this call. Good morning. Thanks for your patience. You're live. Okay, we lost that one. Good morning. You're live.
Yes, good morning. Good program. My question is, right, we have in CPL and all them things you just say, like for the marches and so, but we have in CPL now. What in place for CPL we got CPL for a whole month? What after the 7 night games? You got 7 games going to play, 7 o'clock. What's going to happen between those games after them games finish? How are you going to contain that crowd on the street? Because everybody going to be close to, So how are we going to look into that part here? At least not here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that question. And I could tell you that in itself, it would be a difficult question for anyone. But what I would like to say is that CPL will be held in a controlled environment. All right, and there are some requirements for you to enter a CPL game. You must be vaccinated, of course, and so that is one of the parameters that we intend to use with regards to CPL. And there are a lot of safety and security measures that are being put into CPL, a lot of planning that is going on in CPL that we are not seeing when it comes to some of these local entertainment that we are seeing. We have been in meetings for over a month planning how we're going to have entrance strategy, exit strategy from CPL in order to try to have persons social distance as much as possible when entering and when leaving, to avoid all kind of different kind of congregation. You made a point. How are we going to control the amount of people who would be on the street. Well, from my knowledge, we are still under curfew, and I am hoping that the curfew will continue during the night period. So after the games, people should be required to head straight to their homes. All right, and that is a very good question, and I think everybody should be concerned about that type of question. And I like to say that it is a personal responsibility of ours. Don't care where you go. You must ensure that you're wearing your mask. You must ensure that you are sanitized. You must ensure that you stay away from people. All right, it's a public responsibility.
Good
and
job.
thank you for that question, sir.
Good job. So I love the way you answer that question. Any more callers?
Yeah, we have two. We're going to take these two final calls, and then
Yes, sure.
let you wrap it up for me.
Right.
All right, so we lost that one, so this is going to be our final call.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning.
Good morning. This is Dumpling speaking. I have a problem with the ferry terminal bus stop. We have this busman, either from Boys or West Farm, always like to do as he like. He coming from west, and he had to go round to come back round and then go in the bus terminal. He don't come and drive straight through, from the bridge straight through. And when you talk, he want to use you to wipe you off. I feel that what you are supposed to do, because the police down there, I don't know whether they'll be doing. Put the police down there, and next thing you know whether they'll go. They pull up, and when they reach there, somebody will reach back so, and where my headquarters is, they start picking up extra people there. Some of them, where the driver be, and the other seat, they put them on a little piece of thing there, like you, if you're in there, you put your back here or wherever, they put passengers there to sit down. And I think you are supposed to put a police there to make sure that 10 people in the bus, not 12 and 14, because I said, I have a police down here. This is Dumpling speaking. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Dumpling. And before I let you respond to that call, which is our final call, I have a question which I will use in place of the last call.
Sure.
The question is, what's the difference between a picket, protest, and a march? And do you need a permission for a picket as well?
Well, let me first say, under our laws, persons are allowed to have a peaceful picketing, all right? But we must ensure that when you are doing this, when you're peacefully picketing, you cannot infringe on other people's rights. You cannot obstruct the traffic. You cannot obstruct persons from going about their regular business. You can't disturb businesses, all right? And I mean, a picket borders a possession, all right? But in a possession, you must apply to the commissioner of police with regards to having a protest.
But not for a picket?
No, you could peacefully picket. A person could go out and peacefully picket, say this story about something. But as long as you start to infringe on the rights of others and obstruct this, then the police will come in and you'll have to react to this post.
Thank you for clearing that up, sir.
Yes.
Inspector?
Yes, sir. Before we close, can you please go over the penalties again so people understand the penalties?
Okay, as I said earlier, the penalties for any offense under this act is you are subjected to a fine of $2,500 or imprisonment for 6 months. And based on the discretion of the magistrate, you could receive both. All right, so it's a very serious offense, and so we would like to warn people against this, because I can say here and I can say no. All right, I am very concerned about our officers, and I am appealing to the general public not to partake in any such illegal or unlawful event, because I think the action of the police is going to be strong, it's going to be swift, and it's going to be to protect our officers. We don't want at the end of a march or procession, we have to have a large number of our staff down because of COVID, And so whatever we are going to be doing, we're going to keep our safety and security in mind. And we're also going to keep the safety and security of the country, the Federation in mind. And so we want to ensure that whatever is met with some strong resistance from the security forces.
Thank you. I'll use that your closing, sir, as really sounded like a close. You want to close again?
Well, I
sound like a close.
Thank you.
If you want to close it, anything in closing then?
Okay. In closing, I would like to say we came here to you as persons who are in senior position in the organization, because we are intercepting a lot of communication via social media and other means, indicating that persons are planning illegal activities and unlawful assemblies. All right, and the police force in its wisdom, we understand that we are dealing with a pandemic. We understand that the situation in the country is very grim, and it's dangerous based on the fact that we are seeing these type of cases from COVID. We understand from the news that the Delta variant is here. We understand that that variant is very easily transmissible. We understand that it is more deadly than some of the other strains that we have seen, and so we have to put all in place to protect our federation. And these type of gatherings, as I said earlier, are considered events that can be super spreaders. And I think the police has a responsibility to eliminate or break up anything that could be deemed unlawful and cause our country to suffer based on the fact that we allow these kind of things happen. And that would be my closing.
Thank you, ACP. Anything, Superintendent Rogers?
Well, I want to give our host a little lashing. Because for protocols, I should have ended before my good ACP. And he's our guide, so we're under his wing. Right? So, but with permission from ACP, permit me to speak after you, sir.
Sure, you can.
Because he has quite candidly wrapped up excellent. And excellently, I don't want to even go over this stuff, but I was remind our people, our public, citizens of Sings and neighbors, that we are operating under a pandemic and also a state of emergency. And these are two things that we should take into consideration. We should adhere to that and protect the lives of our people, your family, our children, and society in a whole. And once we do that, we should, you see the cases are rising. And it's rising because of the irresponsible behavior of our people, not following the non-pharmaceutical measures. And if we do that, if we follow those measures, we should be in good sync. Coming out and taking part in any public march, this would drop our guards and put our people at risk, our police officers, who you need us other than just in the pandemic. We are important, and you must understand the importance of the police. So we are appealing to you, do not come out and take part in an illegal march, because we're going to extend the full arm of the law. And with that, I want to say thank you, Jekyll, and thank you, Inspector Edwards.
Jekyll, let me say one more thing, all right? I know a number of persons would have concerns with regards to CPL, all right? And we have been preaching all the time that we must learn to live with COVID, because from where I see things heading, I know we're going to have to learn to live with COVID. All right, and I think CPL could be a learning experience for a lot of persons who are into entertainment and looking to make a living from that type of industry. All right, CPL is something for you to look at. All right, the amount of work that is being put into CPL, that is the kind of work we're going to have to start to be putting into events like music festival, maybe carnival. You understand? It goes a long way, and a lot of planning goes into it. All right, I don't want somebody to just come and say, oh, we want to have a fete, and the police are not, blah, blah, blah. Because at the end of the day, we still have a responsibility. We still are responsible for the safety of the general public. And once we see something and not living up to the standard, we have no other thing than to deny you. All right, so look at CPL, and let us learn, and let us try to put some of the things that are in CPL into our daily planning. All right, thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I too would like to join my two guests this morning and appeal to the general public that they need to apply to the Commissioner of Police in writing, ascertain a permission by the Commissioner before proceeding to march. Failure to ascertain this permission, the police will not tolerate any act or acts contrary to law or any violation. As usual, GQ, I want to thank you for having us this morning. I want to thank the management and staff of ZIZ for having us weekly. I want to thank the callers. I want to thank the person who are thinking about calling, afraid to call, and encourage them to call next time. I want to thank everybody and thank my guest host again, and see you guys next week, Thursday. Thank you.
What you think, what you think, what you think, what you think about?
And this morning program came to your compliments, National Bank.
Know what you know, what you know, what you know about love. Why all the segregation, all our but one nation.